I don't know how to start this, so I'm just gonna start this. But Netflix, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? If you guys don't know, the original creators and showrunners of Avatar: The Last Airbender, Bryan, Konietzko, and Michael Dante Dimartino, have stepped out of production for The Last Airbender Netflix live-action series. Now, the whole point, the whole reason any of the fandom were excited about this series was because those two were behind it. And Netflix knows this. You've seen the ratings and the #1 trending for Avatar being on Netflix right now. You've seen the excitement for Korra coming this Friday. I don't understand why you would take literally the #1 and only exclusive reason that people were excited for this and just trash all over it or trample all over it and not care, not give a shit seemingly. Now, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. No one really knows what happened behind the scenes, but judging from their 2 Instagram posts that they made, their open letters to the public, it doesn't seem like there was any point where they tried to respect the creators' beliefs. I'm going to read their original statements here in a second, but it doesn't seem like any attempt was made on Netflix's behalf to actually meet these guys halfway. And if they're bowing out of the project that they literally were so excited to announce that they were a part of, I'm going to have to err on their side with this. You have 2 creators that have already had their vision trampled by a movie which we will not speak of. You know where it went wrong. You know where Shyamalan fucked it up. I just can't stress enough that these 2 being behind the creative vision of this upcoming series was probably the sole reason you had the fandom behind you. And now that you don't have the fandom behind you, it's gonna fail. This is not going to work. It's not. It might be average. It might be like, live action. I mean, Netflix originals are kind of hit or miss at this point. They spew so many of them out. And no longer will you have the backing of that hardcore fandom. You've lost almost all of them, 99% of them. I think all of us were only excited because we knew that they were behind it, because we had already been so let down by the Last Airbender movie that we were willing to give this a shot simply because Bryan and Mike said that they were going to be behind this 100%. So why would you not be bending over backwards for these 2? I mean, from what their statement said, it doesn't even seem like you needed to bend over backwards, but at least meet them halfway, a quarter of the way. If it was so bad for them to so excitedly announce that they were going to work on this series 2 years ago, and now suddenly come to this point where they're announcing to all of us that they can't do this anymore, then whatever decision you guys are making creatively is the wrong one. What are you guys trying to do? Are you guys trying to make this like a young adult series, like a tween heartthrob drama? Are you guys trying to like make Zutara shippers happy, satisfied? To be fair, I would be totally fine with that. Add whatever shit you want. You can make it gritty and romantic, or you can make it, have more violence if you want. Maybe that takes away from the spirit of the series being this kind of all-encompassing, any age can watch type of show. But it feels like it must have been more than that. What are you going to get rid of all the chimera animals and make it like Avatar in this universe instead of us going into the Avatar universe? Is Momo going to be a fucking monkey? Is Appa going to be a Volkswagen Beetle or a Chevy truck? What is happening? Like, literally, what is happening? What the fuck are you doing? I got it. I got it. Let me sweat in here. Clearly, you have the budget to satisfy long-running fans of established fandoms. The production value of The Witcher is great. I don't think any fans really complained too much about the series. I think it actually captured a lot more new mainstream fans, and that must be what they're trying to do with this series. But with the success of the Last Airbender cartoon, which my girlfriend just watched, who doesn't even watch cartoons, it was all there. You were going to get everything you wanted. So I don't understand where this vision got skewed. I don't know if they're kind of trying to have a lot more blood and violence. I don't know if there's going to be fucking sperm bending and hot sex scenes with Katara. I don't know where it went wrong, but clearly it was something so detrimental to have those two step out. I'm just going to read their statements right now. I can't fucking do this, man. I'm pissed. 2020 has really been the year, right? Look, I know in the grand scheme of things, this isn't like a huge deal. Like, there are a lot more pressing issues in the world right now than this live action series that hasn't even began principal photography yet, I'm assuming. But we look forward to things. Things are shitty. We look forward to things to escape our reality a little bit, right? That's why video games are there. That's why stories exist. This was something that all the fans thought was going to be really special, and that we were looking forward to with glee. Like, we knew that with Bryan and Mike behind it, it wasn't going to be a complete dumpster fire like the whole 40-band Earthbender gang pushing a single pebble. Fucking Slumdog Millionaire Zuko. Granted, he did a good job for what he was given, but still, I'm at a loss for words. So I'm going to read Michael Dante Dimartino's first, because his is a little bit more reserved, it seems. Many of you have been asking me for updates about the Avatar live-action Netflix series. I can finally tell you that I am no longer involved with the project. In June of this year, I mean, that's 2 months ago, that's 3 months ago almost. After 2 years of development work, Bryan, Konietzko, and I made the difficult decision to leave the production. When Bryan and I signed on to the project in 2018, we were hired as executive producers and showrunners. In a joint announcement for the series, Netflix said that it was committed to honoring our vision for this retelling and to supporting us on creating the series. Honoring their vision. And we expressed how excited we were for the opportunity to be at the helm. Unfortunately, things did not go as we hoped. Productions are challenging, unforeseen events arise. Plans have to change, and when those things have happened at other points during my career, I try to be like an air nomad and adapt. Fucking love you, Mike. He based Aang off himself, if you guys didn't know. Bald head. Cool under pressure, I'm assuming. I mean, he had to deal with Nickelodeon, for Christ's sakes. I do my best to go with the flow, no matter what obstacle is put in my way, but even an air nomad knows when it's time to cut their losses and move on. I started to reevaluate what is truly important in my life and what I wanted to do. I took some advice from Uncle Iroh. I looked inward and started asking myself the big question, who are you and what do you want? Fucking love Iroh, dude. I wonder how they're gonna fuck that up in this adaptation. I also sought wisdom from Stoic philosophers who were big on differentiating between what is within our control and what isn't. I realized I couldn't control the creative direction of the series, but I could control how I responded. So I chose to leave the project. It was the hardest professional decision I've ever had to make, and certainly not one that I took lightly, but it was necessary for my happiness and creative integrity. Good Lord. If this decision was that hard to make, then it must have been something detrimental, Netflix. It probably wasn't just, oh, hey, fucking Aang's colors on his outfit aren't right. Oh, hey, you got Katara's hair loopies wrong. No, it was something seriously undermining the original statement that Netflix had said, in which they were committed to honor their vision. Going on now. And who knows, Netflix's live-action adaptation of Avatar has the potential to be good. It might turn out to be a show many of you end up enjoying. But what I can be certain about is that whatever version ends up on screen, it will not be what Bryan and I had envisioned or intended to make. See, when you say shit like that, Mike, it's hard for us to be like, all right, we're gonna give Netflix a shot. Like, I'm not saying that you should have cut them any slack. I want to know more, but I'm glad that you were this blunt with it, if that makes any sense. I also want to be clear that this doesn't mean the end of my involvement in the Avatar universe. These stories and characters are important to me, and the renewed interest and excitement in Avatar and Korra has been inspiring to see. Writing this letter has left me with a very heavy heart. I know many of you will be disappointed and frustrated by the news. I get it. I share your disappointment and frustration. I also recognize this creative setback is small compared to the problems we're all facing as a society right now. Thankfully, Iroh offered some sage wisdom for that too.
Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place.
Yeah, I can't. That's one impression I cannot nail. May we all keep moving to a better place. Thanks for reading and for your continued enthusiasm for the Avatar universe. With gratitude, Michael Dante Dimartino. There's just so much to unpack there. There's just so much hurt you can just feel in those words. Like he knew he was breaking our hearts just saying that. I know this seems like so stupid. It seems like why are you making such a big deal out of this? You have to make a video to rant about this, but this is just how I'm feeling, and this is just what I wanted to do at the time. Maybe I had a few drinks, but moving on to Bryan's rant. I mean, open letter. Before I get to the crux of this statement, I would like to make it clear that I am very aware and appreciative of the fact that I am in an exceedingly fortunate position and that the following issues are indeed good problems to have. Even more so now that we are in the grips of a global pandemic and a cratering economy which have left millions unemployed. With that crucial context, here's the big news from my little world. Michael Dimartino and I recently chose to leave Netflix's live adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the series he and I created together in 2002. Damn, it's been 18 years. 18 years. That's how important this project is to these two guys. That's how important it is for them not to be involved with something that skews their vision so horribly. We will have no involvement with the project moving forward. Zero involvement. This is probably the most difficult decision I've ever made, but there's no doubt in my mind it was absolutely the right choice. When Netflix brought me on board to run this series alongside Mike 2 years ago, they made a very public promise to support our vision. Unfortunately, there was no follow-through on that promise. He said it. You made a very public promise. The Promise, the name of their first comic book for Avatar. Saying that, this is why his message kind of hits me more than Mike's. Saying that there was no follow-through, he's making it sound like there was absolutely no effort made from Netflix's part to actually follow through on the promise that they made, to see these guys' vision, to see what we, the fans, loved about the series, the integrity, the spirit of the series, shown in live action form. Though I got to work with some great individuals both on Netflix's side and on our own small development team, the general handling of the project created what I felt was a negative and unsupportive environment. Again, a lot more information in this one. A negative and unsupportive environment. That sounds pretty harsh. That sounds pretty rough. Like, that doesn't sound like there was a few disagreements here. That sounds like Netflix was just like, nah, no. It sounds like they were straight disrespectful. And hey, guess what? That's not how you get hardcore fans excited about your fucking live action series, Netflix. You put out a lot of dog shit, okay? I'm just gonna say, you put out a lot of dog shit. Warrior Nun, Outer Banks, Desperate Teens on a Beach, The Island. Credit where credit's due, okay? Netflix can be good. They put out some solid movies, some solid films, some solid, original series. Glow. You got The Witcher, like I mentioned before. Umbrella Academy. There's some solid hitters out there. But why would you drop the ball so badly on what could have been the thing that skyrocketed your streaming service with all the competition and shit out there? Sorry, I keep interrupting myself with the reading of this letter. To be clear, this was not a simple matter of us not getting our way. Mike and I are collaborative people. We did not need all of the ideas to come from us. As long as we felt those ideas were in line with the spirit and integrity of Avatar, we would have happily embraced them. This right here. I guess like Mike is just more of a nice guy. He is really an airbender. He's gonna put it as lightly as possible, as evasive as possible. But Bryan, you're just going right out and saying it, dude. They were shitty. They were shitty towards you. They're literally saying right here that they could have met them halfway, even 3/4 of the way, maybe 5/6, whatever the fuck. But they weren't feeling like it aligned at all with the tone, I'm assuming. The theme, the tone, the spirit. An important word in the Avatar universe, by the way. The spirit of the series. I seriously don't think there's going to be any chimera animals in the show whatsoever. However, we ultimately came to the belief that we would not be able to meaningfully guide the direction of the series. Though I am profoundly disappointed by how things turned out, there are wonderfully talented people who are still working on the series, some of whom Mike and I personally hired and got to know well during our time on the project. And see, this makes me believe that the pieces were there. All the puzzle pieces, all the workings were being manifested. And the fact that they're giving Netflix the benefit of the doubt shows an extreme sense of professionalism on their part. I mean, I bet they wanted to go off on these messages. I wonder if they even had to send them to Netflix to approve of what was appropriate to say. We worked very hard together towards a shared dream of how special this adaptation could be. I want to see them employed, and I hope they get the chance to do their best work on the series. Perhaps the team that remains might still be able to make something fans of the original and an entirely new audience can enjoy. See, that's what another telling line right there. Fans of the original and an entirely new audience. There's nothing wrong with trying to make an adaptation that appeals to a different target market or a different group of people. But seriously, the show right now, as it is on Netflix, and it was #1 trending for a damn month, does appeal to every type of person. That is why it was as good of a show as it was. If they're trying to steer it into a different direction, fine, that's okay. But that line right there just leads me to believe that they're trying to capture a mature audience, and that's why I think there's going to be, more of an emphasis on violence and gore and the big war and battle aspect of it. And it might be fucking good. It might be an Edgar Wright Ant-Man situation. If you don't know, Ant-Man, probably one of the weakest Marvel movies, but still one of the most fun in my opinion, was largely successful due to Edgar Wright's original screenplay of it. If you don't know, Disney fired Edgar Wright because they, for some reason, didn't want his vision on the project. But a large part of why Ant-Man 1 is so much more successful than Ant-Man 2 is because it had his originality into it. It had his feel, his energy, his spirit. And I know using those words like spirit and energy behind words of a script or a production doesn't seem real, but it is. It is the director, the writer, and the showrunner's vision that is coming to life through pages. I'm hoping a James Gunn situation happens where, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he was fired, and then all the cast was like, no, fuck that. Mainly Dave Bautista, bless his soul. I hope that the fans clamoring like this can make it so these two come back and operate in some capacity, and Netflix starts to listen to them, because this is just fucking stupid. This is just dumb, okay? Like, sure, you might capture that new tween audience or that mature, gritty audience, but you lost us. Or at the very least, you made us all severely skeptical of this entire thing. Almost everyone I've talked to just doesn't want this to happen anymore. Just fuck it. Just don't even do it. Don't even do it anymore. Cancel this shit. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see our hearts broken yet again. An airbender named Ong. Hopefully you at least get the fucking name pronunciations right. Hear me out. I swear to God, this might happen. We're gonna think the M. Night Shyamalan adaptation is better than this. I hope that does not happen. I hope this comes out and it's something fresh and interesting. We're like, Netflix actually didn't do too bad of a job. But I have a feeling we're gonna say Shyamalan did it better. Somehow that version is better. Okay, I still haven't read the last page of this. By and large, I have an incredibly charmed career, and I am very grateful for it, and I am enormously lucky for the amazing global community of fans that has grown around the shows Mike and I have created and run together. I will continue to be deeply involved in the Avatar universe, telling the stories my partner and I want to tell in the way we want to tell them. I will put my time, energy, and talents towards the projects that give me the most fulfillment, and where I am afforded trust and respect. Life is too short to do otherwise. Bryan Konietzko. Trust and respect. Respect gets me, because I'm like, it's one thing to disagree and be like, no, we think fans are going to enjoy this or this. And he already said that they were willing to meet them halfway. If you aren't respecting these two, get the fuck out. Like, stop. Why would you not respect the people that literally brought this show to life and gave you this opportunity to tell this story? Sorry, this is the first time I've done a video like this, so it's weird for me to make eye contact with you guys. I'm just looking at a camera lens. So sorry for my awkwardness. And they do continue to work on the series. They do comic books, which are canon. They oversee the Kyoshi book by F.C. Lee, which we're reading for our book club right now, which the first part was a New York Times bestseller. So they're still doing work on the universe that is very critically well received. Why would you not heed their wisdom on this, guys? Like, Netflix, it's like you are the Avatar. You have complete control over everything right now, and you are completely ignoring your master's advice. They are your masters for a reason. I just don't know what else to say. Even Mike and Bryan, again, say that this isn't the biggest deal of what's going on right now, but in our little corner, in our little nerd fandom, it is. This show was very special to a lot of people. I came in late. I watched it with my friends on the channel. You can see our reactions to it. I wasn't a kid when I watched this, but it still means so much to me. And for those people that were watching this when they were young, they continue to go back and revisit the lessons of this show. It taught them so much throughout life. and it's a piece of them now. Why do you think people were so pissed off at the M. Night Shyamalan adaptation? It largely had to do with the fact that these two had no involvement with that film whatsoever. Please, Netflix, either get these two back, or I hope to God you find some way to honor the integrity of the original series, and you don't piss off the people that grew up with this series and love it and cherish it so much. You literally had a golden nugget fall on your lap. It can still be successful, but it's going to be an uphill battle now. You are literally fighting an uphill battle now. You had so much momentum going into this with these two announcing a couple years back that they were so happy that Netflix was willing to work with them to honor the original integrity of the series, and now it's all taken away. Every single person I talk to has been like, yeah, they don't want to see this shit anymore. But I'm going to give it a chance. Obviously, I'm going to watch it when it comes out. Check out our reactions to it whenever that may be. And please don't make it super gritty, okay? I imagine they're going to age up the characters a bit, because having a child in a live action series that's supposed to go on for years is probably going to be difficult to do, when in the original story Aang has to master the elements within less than a year. So obviously having a child actor grow up through the seasons is going to be a difficult thing to do. But there's a way to do it. I feel like there's still a way to do it if you age up Aang, Sokka, Katara, the original trio, Toph. And if you be careful, tread lightly. If you fuck up even a little bit of anything that we deem integral to the spirit and tone of the series, they are going to have at you like a pack of wild wolves. And I think you need the help right now, Netflix, okay? Disney Plus is kicking up things with a Mulan live action release, theatrical. They're about to have so many more subscriptions. You got every single TV channel now coming out with streaming platforms. I know you're still the original, you're the OG Netflix, but why? Good luck to you. Bryan and Mike, you guys are amazing people. Thank you. You literally helped us start our careers here on the Normies channel. If you haven't checked out our Avatar: The Last Airbender or Legend of Korra reactions, check them out on the channel. And yeah, man, I guess I'll see you guys later. This was weird. It's dark now. I've been ranting for like 30 minutes. I'm gonna edit this down because I feel like I was just rambling. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments. Are you going to give this series a shot? Are you gonna not watch it out of spite? Are you not upset at all? Do you think Netflix is going to do a good job? I might be way off base here. This is all my opinion and everyone I've talked to, but let us know your thoughts down below. And I hope you have a great rest of this year. Hang in there, guys. Stay positive. I love you. See you next time.